Okay, we're ready. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the LDO Voron 2.4 kit pre-release feedback build. Long time no chat. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are. Hi, Chi from Vietnam. Welcome. Ken and Ed and Stunet. Hey, Jared. Mr. Clown and Mac Nicole and Mitchell and Steven and Tomas. How's everyone doing? Gustavo and Torx Fighter and Wolfgang. Ken, Sean, Yeager, and Dark Neutrino. Hey, David and Tracy. We are almost done with the physical, mechanical build of this thing. Hey, Joseph. We're going to finish tensioning the belts today. I want to check to see if I can maintain the belts before I cut the ends. The correct or the advised way to do this is to leave enough so you can zip tie it to out of the way, but I cut them so I make sure that I can maintain them. Hey Chris, hey BBs, and Michael and DJ Natty. Everybody have a good time in the Airstream earlier? I managed to have it off to the side. I was able to watch some of it. So, tried to build, looks pretty good. I like the colors. Hey Ansgar, Nathan. So, few things. Real quick, Charlie did good in surgery. So, the plan is still to pick him up tomorrow. So, we're really excited about that. So, you read my mind, Bob. I wanted to start with that, get that out there. So we're really hoping they ended up removing one bladder stone and some blood clot that was in his bladder. So they didn't find any other bladder stones. Hopefully, when they do an analysis on what the stone is made of, they'll know better on how we might be able to treat any others that may form. So yeah. So we're excited. We're really looking forward to picking them up tomorrow. So yeah. Last stream I had put these little supports under the deck, and I noticed that they were causing the deck to push up too far. The reason for that is I thought these deck panels are 3mm and they're 4. I'm not exactly sure if that's going to change for the release, but I had to print out the 4mm version of these, and now it's sitting nice and flush. Hey Wiley, welcome. Let me see what we got here. We got the bot starting already. Remove. Did that remove it? Justice, it's 3 a.m. where you are. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you, Jared. For some reason I hit that and it didn't remove it. Maybe chat moved right as I was clicking on it. Yesterday was a good stream. I think we got a lot done. 5.5 hours. Got a little caught up. So, what else do we have going on from yesterday? We're going to be flipping this thing over here in a second. One thing I noticed yesterday that I fixed is, let's go here. We have sorry about that, the display. And this is the Big Tree Tech version of the display. The Physetic version comes with a much larger encoder knob, and it also has a shorter, the shaft on the encoder, or the depth of this is deeper. It sits closer to this accented part. So the Big Tree Tech version looks a little odd with the parts that we have for the display. I had an idea on stream yesterday to just print a small piece that goes on here to fill that gap. And I did it. And it works really good. I'm pleased with it. So, this is a one-take, I mean, it's a simple part, come on. But it's a one-take design, print, test fit, and it worked. So it has an M7 by 0.75 and then a little bit of print compensation done, thread in there, modeled in thread. And this thing threads on there just about perfect. I think that's pretty acceptable. What do you think? I like it. Super simple print. Took 12 minutes to print 2 of them. Jared, you had to spoil my day. Because you're right. I'll put some holes in it. I'll put some holes around this. Just inside the lip of this. So, okay, it's going to be a 2 revision part. But if I put some holes in it inside the diameter of this knob, then it should work, right? What do you think, Jared? Darn it. I didn't think of that, actually. I was so focused on making it fit. I'll put some holes in a strategic location and then I'll release it. What do we got here? Skyblock. Reading my last super chat. Did you do $4.99? Thank you. Read my last super chat. Was there one before this? Did I miss one? Oh, thank you. I appreciate. I was so focused on moving things around. So Skyblock sent, what's the easiest way to level a Voron 0.1 frame? I'm on a flat surface, but the printer still wobbles. Well, you want to make sure that your extrusions, check your extrusions with a machinist square if you have it, or whatever the closest thing you have to this is, but it really needs to be square for you to check. And make sure that the ends of your extrusions are square, because with these blind joints that we use, if the end of the extrusion is not square, you're not going to end up with a square frame. So you're going to have to take pieces of it apart and make sure that they are square. If they are not square, then there's probably a few different ways to resolve that. Depending on where you got the frame, you could contact the manufacturer. If it's an LDO frame, I know that they would recognize that. I would, if it's something you're comfortable with, squaring them up yourself and then making sure all the extrusions are the same length, you can do that. Yeah. Does that answer your question? I think if you're putting together a frame, everything is flush, you're using a truly flat surface to check it, it's probably in either stuff in the end. Make sure there aren't any burrs. So if any of these extrusions get dropped, then it can round over and cause it to not bolt flush. We got the bots in force tonight, huh? Hi, David. Welcome. Okay. Sorry, notifications on the other computer. Called a roofer's square. I would be weary of using like a Stanley speed square. If you got if you got something else to check it against, then you might want to use that other thing. But I don't know how, especially the plastic ones. They make a plastic one. They make cast ones. I'd be a little concerned with it being truly square. Skyblock is Pog, $4.99. Thank you. I ordered a 350 size Voron Trident Formbot kit, so I'm going to build that in like a month. Awesome. So plenty of help on the Discord and the Trident channel. Lots of folks in there that are active all the time. If you need anything, I know I've seen you in there. So have fun with the build. Okay, I'm gonna grab my. So what I'm going to do, and let's see if I can just do a little adjustment on the camera up here, just a little bit. I'm just going to remove one of these idlers and see if I can put it back in. So if I had to maintain this, I would just pull the idler out of the mount on the frame, do whatever work I needed to do, put this belt back in flush, and then bolt it back into place. And as it is right now, I can do that. So I'm comfortable with trimming this belt flush at that point. Going in straight, but now it is. So now I'm good with that. So I'm going to check all of these real quick just to make sure I don't get myself caught with one that's a little odd. Okay, and that looks like it will be okay. Jared, natural ABS would work, and then it's a nice diffuser. But do you think that natural ABS would allow enough light to go through so the light pipe in the knob would still show well? Dickie V, $5, thank you. Is the LCD housing from Trident? Yes, it is. And it's exactly bolt-in compatible with even the current Voron 2. Webcam's flickering. I have an odd build question. Looking to building a V2.4 V2 250. How effective would building it with a switch wire Mark 52 bed be? If you can figure out how to bolt it to the rails here, it would be fine. I thought about doing that for one of my builds, but I didn't follow through with it. I don't know if anybody else can think of any reasons why or considerations you should have. Should be okay. Okay, now I'm just gonna see if I can get be somewhat even. Hi, Dr. Ronnie. Okay, now I'm going to do, like I said, unless you're comfortable with this, I recommend folding these up, zip tie it to the other belt. That's the recommendation. Do as I say, not as I do. Unless you're comfortable. You know what you're doing, cut them flush. If you know you can maintain it later, or at least are willing to replace the belt, don't cut it flush. It is probably maybe a little tight right now, but that's easily remedied with the tensioners. Okay, I had the tool head cover off because I was taking some pictures for LDO. Remember last stream we had a couple of wires that were backwards, so we noted that and given the feedback. The rest of this looked fine, okay, and I checked the other side and things appear to be okay. So I'm going to put this back on. I may have to pull it off again later, but I can find it when it's here. Okay. I am printing, or just finishing up printing on the Trident here, the power supply mount that I forgot to print. Let's see what the manual says we should be doing next. Of course, it tells us we should do doors really early in the process, but I don't think so. I think we can probably do the Z chain and the gantry wiring. Which is not any of this. Did I miss a whole section in the manual? We did all the skirts. We did the display. We did belts. Huh. Where does it have us do? Michael H., what's your go-to print when you need to get a print done fast? Are you talking printer? I'm guessing. I go for, if I really want to get something fast and it'll fit on the build plate, I do my original V0.0. Because I don't do anything to it. I throw a piece of filament in there and I don't even preheat it. I just send a job, and once it gets to 110 and prints, and if it's small enough and it seems to do a good job. Otherwise, I'll hit one of my 250 builds because they're going to be the quicker ones to get up to temp, and I let them pre-soak for at least 15 minutes. So hopefully, where does it have us do? Hopefully, whatever I'm printing fits on the V0 if I need it quick. I'm just curious where the wiring, the cable chains and stuff get covered in this. We got the electronics section, but okay, we'll wing it. Let's grab some parts. I was grabbing some comparison parts there. This is the 5015. The kit comes with the intent if you're going to do a Nevermore filter. And we've got cable chains. We have a 10 by 15 for the Z chain. And these are rigid on both ends. A lot of the Bifinibe or whatever, most of the generic ones seem to have a swivel end on one end, but this is rigid on both, which I think is okay. So that'll be Z. And then similarly, we have rigid on both ends for the X and Y chains. Oh, and they've already got them. Is that correct on both of them? No, they said it appears that they set the ends up correctly on one side. Did they? Yeah. So that would be there. This one needs to be flipped though. Torx Fighter, you're absolutely right. I only have one printer with the frame compensation set up on it though. He said with frame expansion compensation, you should only need to wait for the chamber to get up to temp. Yeah, but I only have that's a process, and it's probably a good one to cover on a stream one day. With the idea that you'd have to follow up because to get your values, to get your frame expansion coefficient, you need to run a 3-hour test. Mine were not the same orientation, but they are the same length. I did fix the orientation on one of them. Wiley. Hi, David. The ends are just put on randomly. There we go. And it's not a big deal. So these just pop out. Just squeeze and pop out, and then make sure they're seated. Danny, this is just a Formica kitchen countertop. It's particle board underneath. It's like a melamine or whatever. Norbs K3, it is a good one. I need to learn it better myself, so it's probably a good one to cover on a stream, the frame expansion mod. The only concern is with that kind of stuff is it's not official in Clipper, so you have to understand what that means when you have to update, or when you need to do an update or whatever. How is that going to affect your ability to do that? I did. When I built like Jared said, when I built the frame, I used just a granite slab that I got from a counter place. It's not quite large enough, but it did the trick. I am going to start at the tool head, I think, with the wiring and work my way through. I think we can probably try to set this up like this. This is the main wiring harness. There's two pieces to it because here in the XY joint is our end stop pod. So that'll get its own harness that goes through. And then this 14-pin connector goes into the tool head board and all the way down into the electronics bay. Hey, KB3D. Now I'd be curious, David, you're here. The wiring harness has zip ties to hold it together. I'm assuming and hoping this is just for packaging, keeping things from getting completely tangled in the in your bags. I'm going to cut all of these off because I don't think they're a good idea to be catching on the inside of the cable chains. So we'll get this. We'll grab one of the XY chains, and we will note that they do open. So I'll find my little screwdriver, and which way do they open? I think this way. Yeah. I'm going to open all of these up. I miss any questions in chat? You keep them on, but it's no big deal to cut them off. Okay. My official recommendation is going to be cut them off. But I would cut them off as you put them in the chains, so you don't accidentally end up with a big mess, a big tangled mess. Some of the, there are some M3x6 flathead cap screws that are going to attach the chain to the anchor. I'm going to lose one already on the floor. Okay. Just a straight through cable. So in order to put this cable in, we're going to have to remove one end. So we're going to put this like this. I'm just going to move these zip ties down for this part because it's easy. Ties down and cut this one. Okay, so I'm going to just put this on here. Kind of, the X chain is easy to manipulate outside the printer. The rest of it we'll kind of have to do on. Making sure we're not pinching any wires. What do we got? I don't know if it drowns that out or not. Cancels it out. Okay, when we get to the end here, we're gonna have to pull the end link and put it back on. So that goes through. Hello from Australia. Hi, Jeff. So now we are going to attach this here. Remember, we had put a T-nut in the extrusion there in the build earlier. Secure it here. Maybe we can can get a view of this from the back. Okay, so all of this moves pretty well right now. We are going to, I don't know if I probably have to take that cover off to get this in well. So let's do that. And put the cover back on when we're done. That on there. Then I want to zip tie it to the end, that little end piece on the zip tie it to the end. Oh, I got one more flathead cap screw to put in too. So these are all Molex Microfit 3 or equivalent, I believe. And this is, at the very least, based on Hart's toolhead board. LDO and Dave in chat may confirm. They may have done some modifications to it for their setup. I'm not sure. These and just do a nice little bend into there. Yep, I will, Stephen. I'll get the stepper wire up in here. I wanted to use a separate zip tie for that though. So secure that end. Missed the first minutes in the stream. Did you modify the first link in the tool head? No, I didn't. First link in the tool head. I don't think so. We changed the hot end cartridge connector to a screw in terminal. Oh, okay. That's what you're talking about. It is slightly modified then. And then I'm going to take another zip tie and make sure that I'm just going to zip tie the stepper wire here up to the other bundle, and that'll keep it nice and out of the way. And I think that'll still allow me to get this cover on here. There we go. Fit on there very nicely. Now for this side, we are going to find a point. We're going to zip tie this to this spot here, but we're going to find a point in here to where the whole bundle is about halfway along this curve here, and I can see that. I got a better view of that than you do, but we don't want it to be too tight and pulling against the inside of this bend. We don't want it to be too loose and rubbing on the outside. We want that to go right about the middle of the bend in the chain there. So put that right there. And I'm going to use 2 zip ties on this, one at the start of it and one at the end. There. Now this is nice and free to move over here. Should have don't have full travel, which we don't, then we adjust it on this side. We don't have full travel, so I am going to sneak my wrench in here. We're just going to push this all the way over, and then tighten it down. There we go. Now all of this is going to go up and tie into here. Oop. But we need to incorporate that XY end stop wire next. So I'm going to take some of these very carefully, take some of these zip ties off. Tomas, time to sleep. Good night. Good night. Thank you, and thank you very much for the 20 euros. Thanks for being here. I know it's late for you guys. For you folks worldwide, I just need to I want to get this done. Hi, Chris. Where did I put the XY wiring? Nope, it's right here. So we got, they're labeled XY end stop. And what is this side? Same thing. XY end stop. Nathan, you're in, was it Taiwan? Is that right? Or South Korea? I'm sorry, I thought I remembered. Okay, there is a channel that runs through here, so we're gonna sneak these wires in here. I think we're just gonna kind of bend this heat shrink on the bottom. There we go. It's right there. That's there. Taiwan. I thought I remembered that. And then we're going to take all of these, and now we're going to grab a zip tie. I always go from this side so the head of the zip tie gets hidden. Oh, I'm pulling that out of there. That's pretty good. Sure we're still good over here, and I didn't pull that. Back to the first link thing. You can modify the first link so it bends when you move the tool head all the way to the end. I can modify the first link. You'll have to show me that later, or I'll look at it on this other chain. Are you talking about cutting these tabs out? Or is it the other side? I guess it would be that little tab there, right? Chris, absolutely. If you wanted to put some wrap in between along here to kind of hide these wires, they're all black wires. I don't think it looks bad, but absolutely some wire sleeving or something in between here. Just and then you can take it all the way in to where it's hidden in the first link or something of the chain, because that never moves. That's no problem at all. There's a picture in the link you posted. Is it on your doc site, David? Pop the links on this. Let me bring up the doc site. So LDO has anything specific to the LDO kits are on their docs.ldomotors.com. And if we go probably to, is it under here? Or is it under guides? And cable chain guide. Am I on the right track? So cable chains, the bend radius, sizing them, they open, like prying there with a little screwdriver, modifying the end lengths. Oh, okay, so we can cut a little bit off there if we think it's necessary. So we just notch that. Okay. That makes sense. And I'll leave it for right now. If I feel like I need it, I'll do that. Yeah, I think we're okay. Yeah, I know David's been fleshing out this LDO doc site with a lot of information, some new stuff that we're going to look at in the electronics bay that I wasn't quite clear on how to do, and he just put out a document on that that's going to be helpful. Let's look at this, and maybe if we feel like we have to modify them, both of them, we'll look at that. So let me get this on here and evaluate what it looks like. DJ Natty, I did. David and I had a chat about that little change, or the issue we ran into, and it is recorded and noted with the fans and the wires backwards. Oh, yep, I missed. I missed the zip tie on the, like, a zip tie on the X, Y, end stop piece. Just missed one of them. It's like, I got it now. That over there. Grab a couple more flathead screws. Hi William, question, can you explain how to find your max print speed off the acceleration test? A couple of things. I'm not 100% sure myself. I'd have to look, I'd probably go looking at the Clipper docs first to try to look at that. And I'm not sure I've got the bandwidth in my brain to try to figure that out and try to explain it here. If anybody wants to, if there's a quick explanation on that, or maybe a source that you can go to in chat, maybe mention that, and if there's a link I need to paste, I can find that. Hey, Abel724. Glad you're liking this. I'm having fun doing it. Okay, let's look at this and see where we're going to be, and see if I feel like I need to modify these chain ends. These pre-done harnesses absolutely make this a breeze, though. Okay, that's on there. I'm going to end up attaching that like that, but right now we're going to look at travel. And now we're going to adjust this like we did the other one. And let it come back. Now, that one I'm going to put right there, and I don't think at max, I don't need to change this at all. But I'm going to tighten this down right there. Call that chain positioned. William, this is KVP Lulzbot Green. I'm pretty sure, if not now, but at some point, they were the source for the Lulzbot filament for their parts. I imagine that's why it's called that. Check the what is that hitting? Yeah, I'm gonna move this over probably a little more. Pull this through there, move that over a little more, and maybe try hitting. I'm trying to figure out where it's doing a weird thing. So it's hitting there. Yeah, we'll do your trick here on this end. Yep. It's a good idea. So I'm gonna take the cable cover off. Gabe, it's either FEP or PTFE wire. David will confirm, or maybe something else, but it's not silicone wire. And it's probably, I mean, fortunately we've got David S. from LDO in the chat here, so he can confirm what gauge the wire is. There we go. Take that off. I gotta get a better angle at this and better view at disconnecting this, because I don't want to pull on this 14-pin connector. These things are tight. A lot of pins holding on. FEP wire, okay. There. Those are tight connection. Maybe that's a good enough view. Now I want this to be able to move up, so I think I want to cut the top side of this, right? Yeah. So I think I want to cut the top side of this just a little bit, and I'll try to do it even on both sides. So I'm just cut a bit out of there. That did not. What am I doing wrong? Oh. Oh, I see. There's room in the... this is really hard to see. Let's see if I can get some kind of view here. There's a slot on the front here, and I think... Do you want this to be able to move this way, David? Or go up like this? First way or second way? If it's the first way, then I need to cut this down. Yeah, let's go with it. I mean, if I would have looked at the... It's going that way, maybe a little bit more. Oops. Down. Okay. Hey, Pex Peppers. Welcome. I'm not sure it'll flex both ways because this feature here is going to stop on that feature there. I think the other cut I did is just gonna not matter at all. There we go. Now it can move down a little bit. Is that about the amount of movement you're expecting? Because see, it still won't move any further up. It's still flush that way. But I do got some downward movement now. Spend half the stream just messing with cable chains. Now the other screw probably went flying. Probably flipped away with one of the wires. See if I get that same. I'm still getting something going on there that I don't like. I am going to try something else here. I'm going to move this even further. Oh, there's the other screw I was missing. I think I've got this position, the position of the whole rail off still, so I'm going to move it a little further. Yeah, that was it. Now I'm not getting, I was getting a little bump right there, and it's moving smooth without catching now. That is better. So now we are going to move this about here. We're going to try to catch this in about the middle of the the middle of this bend. And then we are going to get this stepper wire out of the way. And no, they weren't. Once this is zip tied up out of the way, the stepper wire was not a factor. I just had it, just for that test, it wasn't all secured. Now I think we're good. Yep. We have full travel without any weirdness in the movement. So I think we are good. constant battle with these. The one thing about these screwdrivers is the round handle, so they go rolling all over the place. There. Okay, so on this side, I already confirmed we've got good travel, so I am going to let this run like that. Secure that there. And these 2 zip ties here. And I'm going to use 1 zip tie just along the bottom here to just hold this bundle together, because otherwise it seems to be wanting to flare a little bit. Now, right here, and then making sure we're hitting the middle of that bend on the cable chain. And 2 zip ties to make sure it stays. Hi, Chris. Charlie made it through surgery today, and we are expecting, if all goes well, him to come home tomorrow. So they had a successful bladder stone removal surgery, and we expect to bring him home tomorrow. Seems like the X could have used 1 more link and the Y could use 1 or 2 fewer. You know, honestly, if you look at it, this distance here is about 30 millimeters. And I think this distance here is about the same. So as expected, they're about the same. I wouldn't worry about adding extra links here, because all you've got is just the wire going to the next spot. It's going to be controlled well enough. I don't think it's too big of a deal. Oh boy, John, yeah. I've been worried about that. But he's been on pain medication and a little drugged up, so I'm hoping that's easing any feelings he may be having. I went away 4 years ago or so for quite a few weeks, and my wife says he used to walk around the house in the middle of the night just meowing, and he stopped doing that when I got home. Okay, let's move this around and work on this back piece. Take these. Take them on the back side of this belt. This belt never moves. This side of the belt never moves. Well, it all moves as an assembly. So there's no danger of these wires rubbing on this belt. Even if it's sitting on that, it's not going to hurt anything. And I'm not going to put it on right now because the danger of breaking this piece off is too high. We do this kind of last, but this is all going to go on here. You know, my little view is in the way. This is going to go on here. We have got the big zip chain, cable chain. It is going to go I think this is a pretty tight bend radius. I think I'm going to flip this other side around. I think, if I can. Can I? Yeah, I think I can. Oh, maybe I can't. Never mind. RWDRC, 5 pounds. Treats for Charlie. Thank you. He's going to appreciate that. I got to find something. I got to find some treats that he can eat. Because he's going to be on a low calcium or whatever kind of diet it is. It's going to hopefully keep the bladder stones from coming back. So that will be a question for the vet tomorrow is what can I order on Chewy.com that he's going to enjoy and he can eat? LDO Motors Jason, $50. Hey everyone, happy holidays. LDO announced the release of 2.4 300 350 soon after the new year, and some resellers will open the pre-order slot. That's good news, Jason, and thank you. Installing the Z chain was the most painful part of the build. You know, it is kind of fiddly with these little nut holders because they have to have, or they're designed to have some wiggle room in there. And it pretty much means you have to hold them in place with your finger or something. There's probably glue it or whatever, but we're going to try to do it without glue. Those tiny brackets, yep, they are definitely a pain point. Someone asked what I think about the kit so far. It's been, I mean, I've built the V0.1 kit, and I've built a switch wire kit, and the added stuff that LDO, at least the attention that they're taking to trying to make this, trying to add the things that a company like LDO Motors can do to make this a better build. The way these are designed is that you don't have to go out and have a custom PCB made to build a Voron. But doing something like that someone making a kit can do, like Jason gives an opportunity to do things like that to improve the build experience. You'll never see this toolhead board or whatever in our standard sourcing guide or required for the build, but you will start seeing, and you've seen it from LDO, things like that happening in the where a whole package is being put together, and everything, the wiring harness, everything is all designed to work with those parts. It's cool to see that, at least, and I don't know what specifically any other kit makers are doing, but that they use the heart board as the basis for the toolhead side, things like that. Hi, Jeremy. Okay, this is gonna go in here like this. So we're just going to grab the harness and start clipping some of these zip ties. Thanks, Jeremy. I appreciate that. Okay, let's try that amount of them for now. We're gonna put this on here like this, so let's pull the end. That end is the one that's going to be captured, and then just start. Oh, so we're not quite ready for this yet. I kind of forgot. We've got A and B stepper wires to run through here as well. So let me just set this up in a way and grab the stepper box and bring those into the fold. Where are we at? 712. So let's get all this wiring done, and that's probably where we're going to hit today. I don't want to go more than the hour and a half or so on these weeknight streams, and a lot of that is to make this a smaller chunk to consume for folks later. We'll do tomorrow. We'll see. Depends on how Bri and Charlie Home does, whether I stream tomorrow. But we'll do another couple of streams this week and try to finish it all off on Sunday. Got a big bundle of stepper wires in the stepper box, and 2 of them have 4-pin microfits on the end, so I'm assuming that's what matches this. Let's see what we have for lengths. Are these the same length? They are the same length. So now these are not labeled, so I am going to take a Sharpie and just for now mark this. Remember, ba, sheep goes ba, and there's no reason other than you're gonna remember it that way. It's B-A. And you can blame Eddie for that. So I'm just gonna put a B on here so I can track it once it's on the other side. These JST connectors have a nice flat spot right there. It's not going to help once it's plugged into the board, but it's good enough. This is going to go up here. I have a question. If David, you're still here, is there enough of the slot cover stuff for me to use some of that to hold this wire in place? Are there labels somewhere that I'm missing? Is there labels in the kit somewhere? Hey, Stephen Mikado, that's probably what I'm going to do, and for exactly that. It will probably be an off day. The yellow label pieces in the motor box, I'm checking. Oh, I know what you're talking about. I've seen those before. They were in the switch wire kit, right? But I do not see them here. Making sure I don't see them, but I did label them adequately with a pen. I imagine that's something to add to your list to see if they're on your check box. I looked in the motor box. I looked in this box. I will not discount that it might have fallen out at some point, but I don't see them. But if I do find them later, I'll report back. So the kit came with some of this little slot cover stuff. And how does this... Just getting a feel for this, so that just goes in there. Okay. And I don't think I need to use one long piece here. I'm just going to use, just kind of stitch it across, because all I'm doing is holding that wire up and you're never going to see that. And I used one of these PTFE tube cutters, seems to work well. I don't see them, David, but I will do a thorough check of my work area just in case. So we're going to take these and just hold that B stepper wiring in place. I don't know if this will even be an adequate view. Yeah, it's lighting's wrong. They're right there, right there, and right there. They push in. They don't have to be strong. This is going to come up here. Oops. Yeah, they don't have to be strong once everything's set, but that one didn't hold in place very well. Okay. This to set down there so I can swap it if I want to later. It's going to go like that, and then we grab the rest of our harness here and pop these chain links that I had closed before. Close this up. Hey David, I haven't looked all the way through to the, well, I've looked at the wiring guide, but were these A and B stepper wires supposed to be the same length? Or, because one of them ends up, because of the extra distance here, one of them ends up significantly longer. Is that accounted for in the wiring under the deck? Pull this off. And put it back on. This has to go like that, so that goes like that. Okay. And then the other side. What's this? Like that. Okay, Jared, I'll be here for a little bit longer. Probably. Let's see. So that's going to go like that. There we go. I don't think 6mm screw is going to be long enough for this. I think the intent is to use some button heads for this, even though they're not perfect. Instead of just specking a few. Will these fit through? Maybe they will. Let's try it. Let's try it anyway. The M3 hex nuts, and I'm just going to hold, I'm going to try this, I'm going to hold one of these in place. I'm going to use this. This in place with my finger. Yeah, that's not long enough, so we need to use a button head there. Because that's not going to be long enough. So these flathead and 3x6s will not work for that. This would be a problem with the bomb, not the kit. Let's use something from my stock here. What did you use, David, for that out of the kit? It might be something that we need to adjust in the Voron bomb too. I'd rather not use a socket head screw, but I mean it moves so little and it's going to be zip tied in place. It's probably not the worst idea. I'm going to use I'm going to try first and then 3x8. See if that will work. I'm going to try an M3x8, see if that's long enough. Okay, so we're going to take this, that in there. And I think this is still here. Oops, not anymore. Hold that in there with my finger. This is the most difficult part. I got it in there though. And 3x8 works and doesn't stick out the end, which is what I was looking for. Scratch my nose on the frame here. Doesn't stick out the end, so there's no chance of rubbing on the wires. So I'm going to use that. Now, let's turn this back around. Grab the little wire cover that keeps popping out. This one needs a little shorter. Where did that go? Oh, there it is. Yeah, Jason, these, once everything's assembled, these little wire covers are probably fine, but they really don't like to stay in place. They are a little weak. If you can find whoever makes them for open builds, those are wonderful. Every time I move something, they pop out. LDO's trying to share something? What are you trying to share? Oh, you wanted a distributor list? Here, I can get that. That's LDO's distributor list. That's going to go there. That's going to go there. And then this is going to go here. Looking okay, and then I need probably some 12mm, I'm guessing a 12mm screws here. There we go. Where are we at? Echo to Papa. The end stops on the Z rails. This is an LDO provided part. It's in their printed parts guide. Okay. So that side is secured. I am going to do a zip tie probably around this link up here because we still want to control that wiring in the chain. And then we're just going to stuff this stuff through the hole in the deck. And now we've got a printed part and a T-nut. This is going to go like this. T-nut in there. And an M5 by 10. This part, the bolt can thread on, and this slides in. I'm going to move the whole gantry up to give myself a little bit more room here. There we go. Not quite enough. Something like about there, I think. Last two M3. Hey, Kennedy dog. Okay, that is going to go like that, and we're almost there. So we decided that M3 by 8s were a good size for this. And put that there, put that there. Thread that in there. Catching. There we go. Where are we at? How far off can the gantry be before it starts binding? Quite a bit. More than it's ever going to see in actual sagging or use. I don't know exactly because I can't really tell very well how much stress is being put on the MG&9 carriages. And I don't want to force it there because I don't want to cause any damage. Oh, this camera keeps flickering? It was doing that the other day, and then it didn't do it yesterday. I haven't changed anything between now and yesterday. Okay. All of this is pretty okay. I'm going to break out the zip ties. break out the zip ties and see how I want to clean this up. Oh boy, that view is really flickering. I'm going to grab all of these right here. And that's just going to sit right like that. I'm not going too tight on that. And I dropped the that slot cover again. There. Then I want to grab let's just do this. I think I've got, yeah, this is an older laptop. I probably need to look at doing something about that. I'm going to grab all of this right on this bottom link and use this to secure the wire there. Just like that. Very out of the way. It's not going to interfere with anything. I just realized I never tightened these button heads here. I never tightened those. So we're going to do that there, and then we're going to grab all of this and do the same. Make sure it's in the middle of the chain. Grab it all right here. Just like that. And now I'm going to move this because the bend radius on this chain is pretty tight. I can get away with just moving this over a little bit. Without, and still have room for the wires down here. The last thing to do that we're going to do today, besides replace this little wire cover, hopefully for the very last time, let's put this piece on, which just goes right here. And these chains really probably don't need that piece because they're locked on both ends. This chain can't fall back, but we're gonna put it on anyway. Okay, that is where we are going to call it for the day. We'll spend another 10 minutes or so in chat if anybody has any questions. Things moving well. Looks pretty good. Yeah, I'm pleased. Christopher Swanson, so far any feedback or requested changes to this LDO kit? Yeah, quite a few. I mean, from the beginning, this whole thing has been, we're going to find things. We may have even found something that stopped us in our tracks. We haven't yet, fortunately. But the whole point is to catch things before it goes out to their production. Jared's funny. Jared is funny. Might as well put the rear deck accent parts on too. It's what we ended the last stream on always. Let me find the pieces. Echo to Popeye, saw you just had an issue with the T-nut snapping into the TD. I had the same issue with my LDO rails, but not with China rails. Rails. Are you talking the extrusions? Now, I have had, I don't know, there's probably been 50 or 100. I've had 5, I think, that were bad. And that one, I wanted to see if it took a little bit of extra force and would go in fine, and it did. Most of these have been fine. And there is going to be, and this is why many extras are included in the kit, but there are going to be manufacturing issues with these. So I'm not worried about that. I wouldn't consider that. If I've only got 5 in all of the ones that I've put on here, I consider that pretty good. Yeah, I get it, Jared. Most of them go in. Oh, you can't even actually see that because I've still got this a little. There we go. Now I'm doing it after I tension the belts. It was a little easier before I did that. I did jinx that T-nut. I know. What do we got? Thanks, Tracy. One more. And then Jared will officially be happy. Maybe. No worries, Echo. I got it. I got what you were saying. Hey Gary, any idea when the next batch of serials will be released? So the serial number system has a volunteer manual component to it, manual review component. So they get done in batches as the folks that are doing that have time. So it's never an extreme amount of time. So just be patient. So that is a good spot to stop. We've got the wiring in the upper part of the printer. mostly done. We've got some LED wiring to do later. It comes with them. So, plans for this week. I think what someone, Michael said earlier is right. I will probably not stream tomorrow. I do plan, if I don't stream tomorrow, I plan on streaming Wednesday. I won't be streaming Thursday. I'm going to go see the new Matrix movie. And probably won't stream Friday just because I'm guessing the audience will be pretty small with New Year's Eve. So we will be coming back so Wednesday and then Sunday. And I think we should get to the point where we're doing maybe even getting it to move on Sunday. So tomorrow for the bed, I think I was watching Eurostream today and I agree. The bed's one of the last things I want to put on. That makes this thing that much heavier. Thanks, Paul. We will give Charlie tons of snuggles. Wow, as much as we can. I have no idea what kind of care he's gonna need. We're gonna find that out tomorrow. Chris, Matrix was all right. Yeah, I'm hearing that too. I'm trying to stay away from spoilers, but such a good first movie. I'm hoping I enjoy it. Spider-Man was phenomenal. That's probably my favorite MCU movie to date. Doesn't have the same feel for the Matrix. Yeah, we got tickets. We'll go see it. It should at least be entertaining. So, Christopher, Charlie had surgery today. He came out of it fine. We're hoping to bring him home tomorrow. I haven't seen any of the Venom movies. I feel like I should. The Butler did it. It's always the Butler. So, yeah, this is good. The wiring was easy. The Z covers really polish it off. With that, we're gonna call it. So thanks again. I'm doing this more lately just because my streams are, with building this, kind of off schedule. So make sure you like, subscribe, so you can be notified what time I'm streaming on Wednesday. It'll probably be 6 p.m. the same time Pacific. So we will see you on Wednesday. Have a good one. Thanks. Bye.